Okay, this is a declassified document. It's 63 pages long. This is regarding various people at the FBI and Strategic Air Command and all sorts of people, government officials, talking about Nikola Tesla and his files. If you'd actually like a link to this, let me know. This is declassified under FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. There's a lot of contradictory stuff in here. There's also a lot of juicy stuff in here. I've read all 63 pages. And I can tell you one thing for certain. The government was extremely interested in Nikola Tesla's death ray, quote unquote. Nikola Tesla's death ray, by the way, was scalar wave beam technology. Scalar waves. Let me repeat that again, okay? Scalar wave. Very, very interesting, and some of it's kind of funny because it's so inherently contradictory because it spans a few years' time where these people radically, I mean radically contradict themselves. Let's go over to this one. This is a two-page document, and it's end up being signed, of course, written by John G. Trump, who's the uncle of Donald J. Trump, current president of the United States. And this is where he downplays Nikola Tesla's countless files. And it's really quite hilarious. Note that it's dated 1943, and the important part is highlighted in the red rectangle over here on the left. The result of this examination is consider their opinion among Tesla's papers and possessions, descriptions hitherto unrevealed methods or devices. There is nothing of really significant value here which could constitute a hazard in unfriendly hands. This is contradicted later by countless other individuals. I can therefore see no technical or military reason why further custody of the property should be retained. This is where John G. Trump is writing individuals. This is from written at the top here, you see Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He's basically telling everybody, yeah, you know, there's nothing important in all those countless files that we, and they still haven't been released. I will remind you, those files from Nikola Tesla, these countless decades later, have still not frigging been released. We say, oh yeah, there's nothing here at all. This is like the Star Wars thing. How's that go? So these are not the droids you're looking for. There's nothing important here to be looking. That's actually quite hilarious. Let's go on to one last hilarious thing, and then we'll go on to the serious stuff here. And this is a 6-page farce. This was written by none other than John G. Trump himself. And he's stating what the contents of Nikola Tesla's writings are. I mean, they got a hold of, and he talks about the location of where these countless trunks were held. And he's giving exhibits of the contents of this enormous mountain of files. And he basically says in these exhibits, there's nothing really here, you know, you just talk about like old electrostatic generators, and you know, there's just some, crusty old information here that's common knowledge, and here's some other useless, that's basically the summation of this. It goes on for a second. Yeah, here's another exhibit, it's just some useless old crap where he's talking to someone else about something we already know about, and yeah. This is where the government, John G. Trump was working for the government, by the way. He worked for, it's called the Office of Alien. It's not literally about aliens. Offices of Alien Affairs, I believe, is where they actually take in stuff. It was basically a governmental vacuum for sucking in vital information for the war effort. Yeah, Exhibit M is, you know, more crap that's not really, there's nothing there. It's just like random nonsense. It goes on like this for 6 pages. And, of course, it finishes up here. Yours truly, John G. Trump. He spent 6 pages being a disinformation agent, telling everybody, there's nothing in Trump's files. These are not the droids you're looking for. Oh, my God. This is a good one. You're going to like this one, I think. I hope you will. There's countless examples of like this, since it spans basically 4 years. Most of it's 2 years. Here's exhibit number 1. This is from Mr. Foxworth. This is where they're trying to say his files are very, very important. And they're trying to paint Tesla as a nefarious person with ties since he was Slav. Tesla has a nephew who is his heir, the heir to his files, who is allegedly friendly with the Axis powers. It says, it's Mr. O'Connor's, Mr. Gordon's opinion that if such papers exist, meaning Tesla's papers, then from the standpoint of national safety, they need to be impounded by the United States government to prevent them being used by... I thought earlier John G. Trump was telling everybody that there was nothing at all in these letters. There's nothing, we should, they're so unimportant that we should let them go right away. And that was, how long ago did John G. Trump say that? He said it basically 80 years ago. So John G. Trump, as I just got done reading to you about 5 minutes ago, 80 years ago, essentially, said there's nothing important here. We could just let this gift go. And they're saying just the opposite here. And here's a good one. This is from Mr. Conroy from Strategic Air Command, confidential, declassified. This is 2 years later. The government, people, and Strategic Air Command is vital. Yeah, and they are hot and heavy on Nikola Tesla's death ray. For the Bureau's information, Private Fitzgerald, Association of Status Army, believes that Nikola Tesla's death ray is the only possible defense against the atomic bomb. So it's palpably real. They're talking about Nikola Tesla's quote-unquote death ray, which is a scalar wave beam technology. Okay, that's exactly what Nikola Tesla's death ray was. Okay, scalar, high-energy scalar wave beams. Possible secret death layer in Tesla's effects occupy several of his trunks, and these trunks are at the Manhattan Storage Warehouse in New York City. Prior to Tesla's death, Fitzgerald reported, who was the protege of Nikola Tesla in the last years of his life, was reported to be a brilliant young scientist taken by Tesla as a protege. The office is conducting no investigation on this matter. Yeah, sure they're not. Okay, yeah. It's so important that it's classified and confidential from Strategic Air Command, from Mr. Conroy there. So some of this stuff is quite funny because it's so inherently contradictory. At the one point, they have the government officials, Mr. John G. Trump, telling everybody that this stuff is so completely irrelevant that we need to release it right away, even though it still hasn't been released 80 years later. And then countless other places in the document, which I have here. Let me know if you want to link to it. It's 63 pages. There's all these high-end government officials saying this stuff is vital, it's strategic, it needs to be immediately squirreled away by the government. We need to take ownership of it immediately. And there's another document in here, I have it somewhere, and it says that, oh yeah, the Russians are trying to get their hands on these files. We need to safeguard these files immediately, make sure there's no copies out there, because the Russians themselves knew. The Russians themselves knew how important these files were. That actually can be believed. So you got government officials talking about, oh, the Russians are trying to get their hands on these files. Make sure there's no copies out there of this really, really important stuff. I thought John G. Trump here was telling everybody that there's nothing of any value in it. Yeah, yeah. How does that work? I mean, we have a 6-page affidavit from Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, saying, yeah, there's just some stupid stuff here, and nothing secretive here, and this is the same thing. It's just nothing. There's a whole lot of nothing in there's a whole lot of nothing in Nikola Tesla's files that we confiscated as fast as we could immediately after he died. And I will leave you at the bottom here. Signed, John G. Trump, Technical Aid, Division 14, NDRC, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Cambridge, Massachusetts, January 30th, 1943. JGT, John G. Trump. Trump! I don't do politics, so I'm only telling you what's in the declassified files we have here. Yeah. This document's really funny, because you have all these government officials stressing about Nikola Tesla's files, and this guy is the disinformation agent telling everybody, yeah, there's nothing at all important in here. Nothing at all. That's pretty rich. This is what governments do. Hope you like this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you do, click the link below. Let me know. Bye.